The alien ships appeared in Earth's sky on a Tuesday morning. Captain Dae Kim watched from his command post in Seoul as the massive vessels blocked out the sun. He had been a soldier for 12 years, but nothing had prepared him for this. "Sir, they're broadcasting a message," Lieutenant Una Park said from her station. Her hands shook as she worked the controls. The message was simple. The Galactic Coalition demanded Earth's surrender. They wanted 60% of all resources. Humans would work for them. The aliens gave Earth 24 hours to decide. General Tai Huang stood in the war room deep beneath the city. Around him, military leaders from every nation argued and shouted. He raised his hand for silence. "We fight," he said simply. The room went quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. The aliens had weapons beyond human understanding. Their ships could destroy cities from orbit. But General Tay had seen the fear in the alien commander's eyes during the video call. They expected humans to surrender without a fight. "We will show them what humans are made of," General Tay continued. "Prepare all forces." When the 24 hours ended, Earth sent its answer. One word: no. The alien commander, Vector, could not believe it. His analysts had studied Earth for months. Humans were weak. They fought among themselves. Their weapons were primitive. This should have been easy. "Destroy their capital cities," Vector ordered. "They will surrender when they see our power." The coalition fleet split into groups. Massive warships descended on Seoul, Mumbai, São Paulo, and New York. Energy weapons charged. The invasion began. Captain Dae watched the alien ships approach his position along the Han River. His unit had 200 soldiers. The aliens sent 3,000. "Hold your fire," Dae commanded. "Wait for my signal." The alien ground troops marched forward in perfect formation. They wore powered armor that could stop any bullet. Their weapons fired plasma bolts that melted through concrete. They had never lost a ground battle. Dae waited. The aliens came closer. 500 meters, 300, 200. "Now!" Dae shouted. The bridge exploded. Dae's engineers had packed it with explosives. 200 aliens fell into the river. The others stopped, confused. Their formation broke. "Fire everything!" Dae ordered. His soldiers opened fire from hidden positions. They used old tactics from ancient wars. They hit the aliens from the sides. They used the city against them. Buildings became fortresses. Subway tunnels became attack routes. The aliens had better weapons, better armor, better technology. But Captain Dae had something they did not understand. He had soldiers who refused to quit. The battle lasted 3 days. Dae's unit destroyed 6 alien tanks and killed over 400 enemy soldiers. They lost 60 people. Every death hurt, but they held the line. Across the city, similar battles raged. Sergeant Jin Lee led a team that destroyed an alien ammunition depot. Colonel Wu Nam's forces trapped an entire alien company in the mountains north of the city. Lieutenant Mina Han's artillery units learned to predict alien movement patterns and rained fire on their positions. Civilian analyst Hana Choi worked in the intelligence center. She studied the alien battle tactics. After 2 days, she found a pattern. "They fight like they're playing a game," she told General Tay. "They follow rules, rigid rules. If we break those rules, they get confused." "What do you mean?" the general asked. "They attack at dawn. They rest at night. They always take the shortest path. They never expect traps in civilian areas because their laws forbid it," Hana explained. "We can use this." General Tay smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Send this information to all units. We fight dirty." On the alien flagship, Commander Vector read the casualty reports with growing anger. 23% losses in the first engagement. This was impossible. Humans were supposed to be easy prey. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. His second officer studied the data. "Sir, they do not fight with honor. They hide. They use their cities as weapons. They attack our supply lines. I know what they are doing," Vector shouted. "I want to know how to stop them." But the officer had no answer. The coalition had fought hundreds of wars. They always won. They had rules of warfare, proper tactics, proven strategies. But humans ignored all of it. Humans fought to survive. By the end of the first week, the coalition controlled parts of 4 cities. But they paid a terrible price. Their casualties were 10 times higher than predicted. Their soldiers were exhausted. Their supply lines were constantly attacked. In the Seoul War Room, General Tae looked at the maps. The aliens held strong positions, but they were bleeding. Every day they lost more troops. Every day they grew more frustrated. "This is just the beginning," General Tae said to his staff. "They think they have seen our best. They have no idea what is coming." Captain Day stood on the Han River defensive line. His uniform was dirty and torn. He had not slept in 3 days, but his eyes were bright with determination. "How long can we hold?" Yuna asked him. Day looked at his remaining soldiers. Good people, brave people, people who refused to give up their home. "As long as it takes," he said. "We are not like other species they have conquered. We are human. We do not surrender." Above them, more alien ships descended from orbit. The battle for Earth had only just begun. But already the aliens were learning a terrible truth. Humans were not prey. Humans were survivors. And when you threatened their home, they became something the galaxy had never seen before. They became warriors who would rather die than quit. 3 weeks had passed since the invasion began. Commander Vector stood in his medical bay, watching alien doctors examine a captured human soldier. The prisoner was a young man named Jin Lee. He had been shot twice and still fought for another hour before capture. "Explain this to me," Vector demanded. "Why does he not break?" The lead doctor, a scientist from the Phalanx homeworld, checked his instruments. "Commander, this is the 3rd human we have studied. They all show the same strange patterns. Their pain tolerance is far beyond what their biology should allow. Their will to fight does not fade even when they are injured." "That makes no sense," Vector said. "Pain is pain. All species feel it." "Yes, sir. But humans seem to ignore it, or push through it. We do not understand how." The doctor hesitated. "There is something else. We found records in their computer systems. Humans have been fighting wars among themselves for their entire history. Thousands of years of constant warfare. They have refined the art of killing to a level we have never encountered." Vector felt a chill run through his body. The coalition had made a terrible mistake. On Earth, Colonel Wu Nam planned his next operation. He stood in a command bunker in the Himalayan mountains. His forces held the mountain passes, keeping aliens from advancing into Central Asia. "They are sending their elite units," his intelligence officer reported. "The Vanguard Legions, their best troops." Wu smiled. "Good. Let them come to the mountains. Mountains are our friends." The Vanguard Legions arrived 3 days later. 5,000 of the coalition's finest warriors. They wore the best armor, carried the best weapons. They had conquered 12 worlds without a single defeat. Colonel Wu had 800 soldiers. The battle began at dawn. The aliens advanced up the mountain passes in their armored vehicles. Their commanders followed the standard coalition playbook. Overwhelming force, direct assault, quick victory. But the mountains did not follow the playbook. Wu's soldiers had spent weeks preparing. They knew every rock, every path, every hidden position. When the aliens entered the pass, the mountain came alive. Explosives hidden in the rocks above created avalanches. Artillery fire echoed through the valleys. Snipers picked off commanders from impossible distances. And when the aliens tried to retreat, they found the path blocked. The battle lasted 2 weeks. The Vanguard Legions lost 60% of their force. Colonel Wu lost 140 soldiers. Each loss hurt him deeply, but the mission succeeded. The aliens learned that terrain mattered more than technology. In Mumbai, Captain Meena Han commanded an artillery unit. She had studied mathematics before the war. Now she used those skills to predict where aliens would move and when they would arrive. They are creatures of habit, she explained to her gun crews. They resupply at the same times. They rotate guards on a fixed schedule. They follow patterns. Her predictions were accurate. Her artillery strikes devastated alien supply convoys. Food, ammunition, medical supplies, all destroyed before reaching the front lines. The aliens began to starve. Their weapons ran empty. Their wounded suffered. And still, the humans kept fighting. Dr. Sora Bayek worked in a military psychology unit. She interviewed soldiers from both sides. The differences fascinated her. Our soldiers fight for their families, she wrote in her report, for their homes, for their planet. This gives them strength the aliens cannot understand. The alien soldiers fight because they are ordered to fight. They do not have the same motivation. General Tai read her report with interest. How do we use this? We show them their cause is hopeless, Dr. Beck suggested. We broadcast our victories. We make them afraid. We break their will to fight. The psychological warfare campaign began immediately. Human forces started leaving alien survivors. These survivors returned to their units with stories of unstoppable human fighters, of battles that should have been easy but turned into nightmares, of friends who died in ambushes and traps. Fear spread through the coalition ranks. Captain Day led another mission in Seoul. The aliens had fortified a government building. Day's orders were to take it back. He studied the building for 3 days. He learned guard patterns, supply schedules, shift changes. Then he struck. His team went in at night through the sewers. They moved silently through the building, room by room, floor by floor. They used knives and silenced weapons. By dawn, the building was back in human hands. The aliens never knew what happened until it was over. Unipark had become skilled at breaking alien codes. She intercepted a message from Commander Vector to the Coalition High Command. We are losing this war, the message said. Human casualties are acceptable to them. They do not care about cost. They only care about winning. Recommend immediate withdrawal. The High Command's response was cold. Withdrawal is not acceptable. Victory is mandatory. Send more troops. Vector obeyed, but his hands shook as he gave the orders. He had fought in 20 campaigns. He had never been afraid before. Now, every shadow seemed to hide a human soldier. Every night brought new attacks. His troops were breaking. The Battle of Mumbai became the turning point. Colonel Wu had been transferred there to help defend the city. He brought his mountain tactics to the urban jungle. An entire alien armored division entered the city. 3,000 troops. 200 vehicles. They planned to crush human resistance in a single day. Wu turned the city into a maze of death. Buildings rigged with explosives, streets filled with mines. Every window held a sniper. Every corner hid a trap. The aliens advanced into the trap. Wu let them penetrate deep into the city. Then he closed the door behind them. The battle lasted 1 night. By morning, the armored division was destroyed. 67% casualties. The survivors fled, abandoning their vehicles and weapons. Coalition intelligence officers studied the battle footage in horror. One analyst sent an urgent report. Humans do not fight like any species we have encountered. They turn everything into a weapon. Buildings, cars, even their own dead bodies are used as traps. This is not warfare. This is something else. The message reached the Coalition High Command. For the first time, they began to doubt their victory. General Tay gathered his commanders for a meeting. Around the table sat heroes: Captain Day, Colonel Wu, Captain Meena, Lieutenant Yuna, Sergeant Jin, recently freed in a prisoner exchange. The aliens are losing, General Tay said, but they do not know how to quit. They will send more troops, better weapons. We must be ready. We have hurt them badly, Day observed. But we have also revealed our capabilities. General Tay nodded. Yes, they know what our regular forces can do now. They are preparing for that. He paused. But they do not know about our other assets. Around the table, his commanders smiled. They knew what was coming. The aliens had fought Earth's regular military and barely survived. Soon they would face something much worse. They would face humanity's special forces. The Coalition intelligence officer stared at the intercepted message. His translator had difficulty with some human words, but the meaning was clear enough. Tier 1 assets are green for deployment, the message read. Specialists are moving into position. Authorization confirmed. What does this mean? The officer asked his human prisoner, a captured supply clerk. The clerk, a middle-aged woman named Hannah, smiled despite her situation. It means you should have accepted our surrender offer last week. Humans tried to surrender? The officer was confused. No, Hannah said. We offered to let you surrender. You refused. Now you'll meet the ghosts. The officer did not understand. He filed the report and forgot about it. That was his last mistake. Master Sergeant J. Kang moved through the darkness like smoke. His team of 6 followed behind him, equally silent. They wore black armor that bent light around them. Their weapons made no sound. They had trained for 15 years for missions exactly like this. Their target was an alien command base in the mountains of Korea. Regular forces had tried to assault it twice. Both times they were driven back with heavy losses. The base was too well defended. Too many guards, too many weapons. General Tay had given Jay's team a simple order. Make it disappear. Jay studied the base through his scope. 200 alien guards, energy shields, automated defenses, guard towers, minefields. It looked impossible. Standard approach? His second-in-command whispered. Standard approach, Jay confirmed. They waited until 0300 hours, the time when living beings are at their lowest point, when alertness fails, when mistakes happen. The team split into 3 pairs. Jay and his partner went for the shield generator. 2 others headed for the command center. The last pair would handle the guards. Jay moved like a shadow. He had learned this skill from his grandfather, a hunter in the old days. The trick was not to move like a soldier. Soldiers made noise. Hunters did not. He reached the shield generator without being seen. His partner set the charges while Jay watched for patrols. 3 minutes. No alarms. No shouts. Perfect. Inside the command center, Captain Hee-song waited for the shields to drop. She had infiltrated the base 3 hours earlier, disguised in stolen alien armor. Now she sat at a computer terminal, downloading everything. The shields flickered and died. He smiled, right on time. She stood and drew her weapon. The commander of the base sat at his desk, studying reports. He never saw He. She moved behind him and pressed her weapon to his head. Translate this, she said in his language. You have lost. The commander tried to reach his alarm. He shot him. She grabbed the data drive and moved to the door. The hallway was full of confused guards. The lights had gone out with the shields. He activated her night vision. The guards could not see her. She could see them perfectly. She moved through them like a dancer, shooting with precision. Headshots. Quick, clean, efficient. Outside, Lieutenant Bin Ro and his partner handled the guard towers. Bin was an expert with alien technology. He had hacked their communication system. Now, when guards called for help, they heard only silence. One by one, the towers went dark. Bin moved from position to position, disabling weapons, cutting power, creating chaos. The entire operation took 47 minutes. When it was over, the base was destroyed. 200 alien guards were dead. The command center was burning. All intelligence was stolen. Jay's team disappeared into the night. They left no trace, no evidence, no survivors who saw them clearly. When coalition reinforcements arrived at dawn, they found only destruction. Their analysts could not explain what happened. The base had been perfect, heavily defended. How did it fall so quickly? One analyst found a single clue, a symbol painted on a wall in human letters. Ghost was here. What does this mean? The analyst asked. Nobody could answer. Across the planet, similar operations occurred. Human special forces had been held in reserve for 2 months. General Tay had waited for the right moment. Now, they were unleashed. Chief Nari Wan led a team into an alien-occupied city. Her mission was pure psychological warfare. She spoke 4 alien languages fluently. She understood their culture. She knew what frightened them. Her team broadcast messages into the alien communication network. Stories of human ghosts who could not be killed, tales of soldiers who moved through walls, warnings that the ghosts were coming. At first, the aliens ignored it. Propaganda, lies, human desperation. Then the killings started. High-ranking officers died in their sleep. Supply officers disappeared without a trace. Pilots found bombs in their ships. Commanders were shot by invisible snipers. The aliens began to believe the stories. They posted extra guards. They installed more sensors. They increased patrols. It did not matter. The ghosts still came. Commander Vector received reports from 17 different bases. All reported impossible attacks. Small human teams destroying large installations. Guards killed without raising alarms. Command centers infiltrated and destroyed. "How many of these special humans are there?" he demanded. His intelligence officer checked the estimates. "Unknown, sir. We have confirmed at least 50 separate teams operating. Each team has 4 to 8 members. Total estimated strength, 300 to 400 soldiers." 300 soldiers are destroying our entire operation? Vector could not believe it. "These are not normal soldiers, sir. They are trained for this kind of warfare. Our forces are trained for conventional battle. We are not prepared for this." Vector knew the officer was right. The coalition fought wars with rules, lines of battle, clear objectives. But these human special forces did not follow rules. They appeared from nowhere, struck vital targets, disappeared completely. It was not warfare, it was hunting, and the coalition was the prey. Captain He planned her next operation. Intelligence had located an alien war council. 3 sector commanders meeting to discuss strategy, heavy security, orbital support, impossible to attack. "We go in anyway," He told her team. "These commanders are coordinating all alien forces in Asia. Without them, the enemy loses cohesion." Her team studied the target for 2 days. They found a weakness. The commanders met in a bunker deep underground. The bunker had one entrance, heavily guarded, but it also had a ventilation system. He's team entered through the ventilation shaft. They moved through the narrow passages with difficulty. It took 3 hours to reach the conference room. He looked through the vent grating. 3 alien commanders sat around a table. 20 guards stood at attention. The room looked secure. He dropped a gas canister through the vent. The guards had 5 seconds to react. Not enough. The gas knocked them unconscious in seconds. He's team dropped into the room. They moved to the commanders. Headshots, professional, quick. Then they heard alarms. The guards outside had noticed something wrong. Hundreds of troops would arrive in minutes. "Time to leave," he said calmly. But they could not go back through the vents. Too slow. Instead, he led them through the bunker. They ran through hallways, shooting guards who got in the way. They threw explosives behind them, collapsing tunnels. They reached the surface and sprinted for the extraction point. Enemy fire chased them. Aircraft circled overhead. It looked impossible. Then human regular forces opened fire from hidden positions. Captain Day's unit had been waiting. They provided covering fire while the Special Forces team escaped. The extraction helicopter lifted off under heavy fire. He looked back at the burning bunker. Mission accomplished. In orbit, An alien intelligence officer received the reports. 3 commanders dead. 17 different Special Forces operations in one night. Coalition casualties mounting. He sent an encrypted message to the High Command. "We are not fighting soldiers anymore. We are being hunted. Request immediate withdrawal." The message was intercepted by Nari's intelligence team. She smiled as she read it. The psychological warfare was working. The aliens were breaking. "Let them know the ghosts are real," she told her team. "Let them know we are everywhere. Let them know there is no safety." The broadcasts began. The aliens listened, and they were afraid. 4 months into the war, Commander Vector made a decision. He could not defeat the human special forces with normal troops. He needed specialists of his own. "Bring me the Void Reapers," he ordered. His second officer looked worried. "Sir, the Void Reapers have not deployed in 50 years. They are expensive, difficult to control." "I do not care," Vector said. "We need warriors who can match these human ghosts." The Void Reapers arrived 1 week later. 300 of the Coalition's finest special warfare troops. They had trained their entire lives for combat. Each one was worth 10 normal soldiers. They wore advanced stealth armor and carried weapons that could cut through tank armor. Their commander was a veteran named Krell. He studied the reports on human special forces with interest. "These humans are skilled," Krell admitted to Vector. "But they are not invincible. We will prove this." Krell chose the Swiss Alps for his trap. Intelligence reported regular human special forces activity in the area. He would set an ambush. His 300 Void Reapers against maybe 50 humans. The plan was simple. Fake a high-value target. Wait for the humans to attack. Surround them. Destroy them completely. Master Sergeant J received the intelligence about the target. An alien ammunition depot in the Alps, lightly guarded, perfect for a quick raid. Something felt wrong. "It is too easy," Jay told Captain He. "Why would they leave such a valuable target barely defended?" He studied the reconnaissance photos. "You think it is a trap?" "I know it is a trap," Jay said. "The question is, do we spring it anyway?" They brought the question to General Tay. He looked at the intelligence and smiled. "They finally learned," he said. "They are adapting. Good." "Should we avoid the target?" he asked. "No," General Tay said. "We go in, but not the way they expect. They want to fight our special forces. Let us give them a real battle." The operation was called Phantom Strike. 40 human special forces operators against 300 Void Reapers. The battle began at night. The Void Reapers waited in perfect ambush positions. They had surrounded the fake ammunition depot. Their sensors covered every approach. Their weapons were ready. Then the humans attacked from behind them. Jay's team had circled around the ambush. They studied the Void Reaper positions for hours. They found the weaknesses. Now, they exploited them. Sniper fire came from the mountains, silent and deadly. Void Reapers started dying before they knew the battle had started. They tried to respond, but they could not find the shooters. Captain He led her team in from the east. They moved through the snow like wolves. They struck fast, killed quickly, and disappeared into the darkness. Lieutenant Bin's team disabled the Void Reaper communications. Suddenly, the enemy could not coordinate. Each unit fought alone, blind and confused. Krell realized his mistake too late. He had prepared for a frontal assault. The humans had turned his trap around. Now he was surrounded. "Fall back to defensive positions," Krell ordered, but the humans did not let them regroup. Every time the Void Reapers tried to organize, snipers picked off their officers. Every time they tried to retreat, ambushes cut them down. The battle lasted 18 hours. It was brutal, professional. The Void Reapers were excellent warriors. They fought with skill and courage. But the human special forces were something different. They were not just warriors. They were hunters who had studied their prey. When dawn came, 267 Void Reapers were dead. Krell was among them. He had fought to the end, refusing to surrender. The human special forces lost 12 people. Each death was mourned, each name was remembered. But the mission succeeded. The surviving Void Reapers returned to their base in shame. They had been the Coalition's elite, the best of the best, and they had been destroyed by a smaller force of humans. The psychological impact was devastating. If the Void Reapers could not stop the human ghosts, who could? Chief Nari broadcast the results across all Coalition communication channels. She made sure every alien soldier heard the news. The Void Reapers had fallen. The ghosts remained. Alien morale collapsed. Soldiers began refusing night patrols. Some abandoned their posts entirely. Officers reported that their troops were afraid to sleep. Commander Vector read the reports with growing despair. He had thrown his best warriors at the humans and lost. The Coalition High Command demanded results, but Vector had no answers. Then the humans launched Operation Broken Arrow. General Tay had planned this operation for months. The objective was simple: eliminate the Coalition's entire command structure in 72 hours. Every Special Forces team on Earth received specific targets: flag officers, senior commanders, logistics coordinators, intelligence chiefs. The humans would decapitate the entire alien military at once. The operation began at midnight. Master Sergeant Jay's team infiltrated a Coalition orbital station. The station was supposed to be impenetrable, guards everywhere, sensors on every level. Multiple layers of security. Jay's team moved through it like ghosts. They had studied the station for weeks. They knew the guard schedules, the sensor blind spots, the emergency protocols. They reached the Admiral's quarters in 30 minutes. The Admiral never woke up. Jay's team downloaded all intelligence files, planted explosives on the main reactor, and left. The station exploded 2 hours later. 2,000 alien personnel died. The Admiral and his entire staff were among them. Similar operations occurred across the planet and in orbit. Captain He's team eliminated a sector commander in his heavily guarded bunker. Lieutenant Bin's team destroyed a logistics coordination center. Chief Nari's team captured an intelligence chief alive and extracted every secret he knew. In 3 days, 17 flag officers were killed. 56 senior commanders died. Key logistics coordinators were eliminated. The Coalition's command structure collapsed. Without coordination, alien forces stopped working together. Units retreated to defensive positions. Some tried to surrender, but did not know who to contact. Others simply fled. Commander Vector watched his forces disintegrate. He had lost the war. He knew it. But pride prevented him from admitting it. He decided to lead one final assault himself. He would restore morale by personal example. He would show his troops that humans could be beaten. His flagship, the largest warship in the Coalition fleet, descended toward Seoul. He planned to destroy the city and break human will, but Chief Nari's team was already aboard his ship. They had infiltrated during a supply transfer 3 days earlier. They had been living in the ship's ventilation system ever since, waiting, watching, learning. When Vector sat in his command chair, Nari appeared behind him. "Hello, Commander," she said in perfect alien language. Vector spun around. A human woman stood there, calm and confident. Around the bridge, his guards lay unconscious from gas. "How?" Vector could only manage one word. "We are everywhere," Nari said simply. "We see everything. We know your ship better than you do." She handed him a data pad. "These are the locations of explosives we have placed throughout your vessel. Engines, life support, weapons. We can destroy this ship anytime we choose." "Then why have you not?" Vector asked. "Because we want you to surrender," Nari said. "We want you to end this war. Your people are dying for nothing." "You cannot win." Vector looked at the data pad. The information was accurate. These humans had been inside his flagship for days. They could have killed him any time. Instead, they offered mercy. For the first time since the war began, Vector understood. Humans were not just better fighters. They were smarter, more adaptable, more determined. He had lost because he underestimated them. He had seen primitive weapons and assumed primitive minds. He had seen internal conflicts and assumed weakness. He had been wrong about everything. "I will transmit the surrender order," Vector said quietly. Nari nodded. "Your troops will be allowed to leave peacefully. But the Coalition must never return. Earth is not prey. We are predators." Vector sent the order. Across Earth and in orbit, Coalition forces began to stand down. The war was over. The hunters had won. The peace conference took place on a neutral space station orbiting the moon. General Tai led the human delegation. Commander Vector attended, stripped of his rank and authority. The Coalition High Command sent representatives to negotiate terms. The aliens expected standard peace terms, territory exchanges, resource sharing, trade agreements. They had fought many wars. Peace always looked the same. General Tai had different ideas. "These are our terms," he said, sliding a document across the table. "They are not negotiable." The Coalition representative, an old diplomat named Thoros, read the document. His expression changed from confident to shocked. "Complete withdrawal from all human space?" Thoros said. "This is reasonable. But you also demand we broadcast your military capabilities across the entire Coalition?" "Yes," General Tai said simply. "Why?" "This serves no strategic purpose." "It serves exactly one purpose," General Tai explained. "We want the galaxy to know what happens when you attack humanity. We want every species to understand that we are not easy prey." Thoros looked uncomfortable. "The Coalition High Command will not agree to this. It is humiliating." General Tai leaned forward. "You invaded our world without provocation. You tried to enslave us. You killed millions of our people, and you lost. Humiliation is the least you deserve." "We could continue the war," Thoros threatened weakly. Captain Heesong, standing behind General Tai, smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "Please do," she said softly. "We have not shown you everything we can do yet." Thoros looked at her and felt a chill. He had read the reports about human special forces, the ghosts, the invisible warriors who destroyed the Void Reapers, who infiltrated impregnable stations, who hunted Coalition commanders like animals. "We accept your terms," Thoros said. The formal surrender took 3 hours. The Coalition agreed to everything: complete withdrawal, public acknowledgement of aggression, release of all intelligence about other species, a non-aggression pact with severe penalties for violation, and most importantly, they would tell the galaxy about humanity. 1 week later, the broadcast began. It went to every Coalition world, every species in their alliance, every corner of their civilization. The message was simple and clear. Humanity possessed 2 levels of military force. The regular army fought with determination and skill beyond galactic norms. They used terrain as a weapon. They refused to surrender. They adapted to any situation. But the special forces were something else entirely. Warriors trained specifically for impossible missions, soldiers who moved like shadows, fighters who could infiltrate any defense, hunters who never stopped until their target was eliminated. The message included battle footage: the defense of Seoul, the Battle of Mumbai, the destruction of the Void Reapers, the infiltration of Vector's flagship. Species across the galaxy watched in stunned silence. Some did not believe it. Others demanded verification. The Coalition provided proof: DNA samples, weapon analysis, tactical breakdowns. It was all true. Humanity was dangerous. On Earth, life slowly returned to normal. Cities were rebuilt. The dead were mourned. Memorials were erected to honor those who fell. Captain Dae Kim received promotion to colonel. He now commanded the defense forces for all of Korea. He walked through Seoul, seeing the reconstruction, buildings rising, people smiling again, children playing. He thought about the war, the friends he lost, the battles he fought. Was it worth it? He saw a young girl laughing with her mother. Yes, he decided, it was worth it. Master Sergeant J. Kang did not attend the victory celebrations. He was already training for the next mission. Special forces never stopped preparing. The galaxy was vast. Other threats would come. "Do you think they will attack us again?" one of his trainees asked. Jay considered the question. Maybe. Probably not the coalition. But there are other species out there, other empires. Some will hear the stories and stay away. Some will hear the stories and want to test themselves against us. What do we do then? The same thing we did this time, Jay said. We protect our home. We hunt our enemies. We survive. Captain Hee-song joined the intelligence service. Her skills were needed for different work now. Humanity was expanding into space, meeting new species, making contact with other civilizations. Some were friendly, some were not. Hee's job was to identify threats before they became dangerous, to gather information, to prepare humanity for whatever came next. She was good at it, very good. Chief Nari Wan led the diplomatic security detail. Whenever human ambassadors met with alien species, Nari was there, watching, listening, protecting. She spoke 12 alien languages now. She understood their cultures, their fears, their motivations. She could read their body language better than they could themselves. "You make them nervous," one ambassador told her. "Good," Nari replied. "Nervous aliens are polite aliens." General Tai Huang became the first commander of the Earth Defense Force. His job was to prevent another invasion, to keep humanity safe, to prepare for threats from the stars. He established new training programs, combined regular forces with special forces expertise, created rapid response teams, built orbital defenses, but most importantly, he made sure humanity never forgot the lessons of the war. Never underestimate your enemy. Never give up. Never stop adapting. Dr. Sora Bayek published her study on human psychological advantages in warfare. It became required reading in military academies across Earth. The key findings were simple. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. They could track prey for days. They refused to quit. This trait carried into modern warfare. Where other species broke under pressure, humans endured. Humans also possessed something called spite. When threatened, they would sacrifice their own comfort to hurt their enemy. This made them unpredictable and dangerous. Finally, humans bonded strongly with their group. They fought not just for themselves, but for their friends, their family, their species. This gave them motivation that logic could not explain. Lieutenant Yuna Park headed the new Alien Communications Division. She trained specialists in alien languages and codes. Her team made sure humanity could understand any message from the stars. 1 year after the war ended, a new alien species made contact. Their ship appeared at the edge of the solar system. They transmitted a message in perfect human language. "We are the Stellar Confederacy. We come in peace. We have heard what happened to the coalition. We wish to establish friendly relations." General Tay read the message carefully. He looked at his staff. Captain Day, Master Sergeant J, Captain Hee, Chief Nari, Lieutenant Yuna, all the heroes who saved Earth. "What do you think?" he asked them. "They are afraid," Nari observed. "The message is very polite, very respectful." "They know about the war," Day added. "They know what we can do." "Should we trust them?" Yuna asked. Jay spoke quietly. "Trust must be earned, but we can give them a chance. We can meet them, talk to them. If they prove hostile, we deal with them like we dealt with the coalition." General Tay nodded. "Send a response. Tell them they may approach Earth. But make it clear. We welcome friends. We will destroy enemies. Let them choose which they want to be." The message was sent. The Stellar Confederacy accepted the terms. First contact proceeded peacefully. On a classified military base, new recruits trained with Master Sergeant J. They learned the skills that saved humanity: stealth, precision, adaptability, the refusal to quit. A young recruit asked the question many had asked before. "Sergeant, is it true what they say, that the aliens were more afraid of us than we were of them?" Jay looked at the recruit. Young, eager, ready to protect Earth. "They were not afraid of us at first," Jay explained. "They thought we were weak, easy to conquer. But when we fought back, when we refused to surrender, when we showed them what humans become when our home is threatened, then they became afraid." "What did we become?" the recruit asked. Jay thought about the question. He remembered the battles, the missions, the friends who died, the enemies who learned too late what humanity truly was. "We became what we have always been," Jay said. "Survivors, hunters, warriors who refused to quit. The aliens thought they were the predators. They learned they were wrong." He looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the galaxy was learning about humanity. Some species would become friends, some would become enemies, but all would learn the same lesson. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was not weak. And if you threatened their home, you would face not just their regular army, but something far more dangerous. You would face their special forces, the ghosts, the hunters, the warriors who never stopped. And when that happened, you would learn what the Coalition learned. You would learn that some species should never be provoked. You would learn that humans were one of those species. The war was over. Earth was safe. But the galaxy was vast and full of unknowns. Humanity would be ready. They would train. They would prepare. They would protect their home. And if another threat came, they would do what they did before. They would fight. They would adapt. They would survive. Because that was what humans did best.